Science from the oceans, we need the science from other biomes. Alright. So, 10 science for returning from orbit. Valentina gains a level. And we have 300 some funds. So we can officially upgrade. Let's see what other missions are available. Test this, test this, test this. Conduct. Focus observational. Above, near this. Science data from space around Kerbin. That's easy. Could have actually grabbed that last time. Let's see what our observational missions look like here. So let's see here. This one is what? Above, below. Yeah, I thought about actually jettisoning it for that exact reason, which I'll read it just for the benefit of people who are watching this on YouTube later. Cal writes, something that might help, you can dump the heat shield. Once it stops using a blader, it has a built-in separator. It will lighten the aircraft without reducing drag, which should help slow it down sooner. Yeah, that is 100% correct. So, OMB, are you asking us to fly above or below something? That's not the button I wanted. Wow, really long time to load this time. Okay. All right. Okay, in-flight above, trivial prestige. We just need just a little bit more money here. So what's our goal today? We have some things available. We have enough to go to the moon. I don't know how much we'll get to do at the moon, but we have enough to get there, which I guess is all that really matters. So Science Bay, heat shield, one parachute's probably going to be enough. Issue once again is whether or not the ship flips based on this here. I don't feel like it should. I guess what we can add to try and make sure, well, this doesn't add as much as I thought it would, but we'll add some heat things here just to try and take that burn down. You know, we'll find out. We still only have Valentina as our pilot. That's okay. Said I have dreams where my ship still flips around the side here, so we'll do a tiny fuel tank just for a little bit of extra stuff. We want to get into orbit, and then we want to see if we can do the actual extra maneuvers to get to the moon from here. So we don't need too much more. Technically, what I could do if I wanted to use the science to do it is probably unlock some other things that would make my trip a little more worthwhile. So yeah, let's see if we can get a service bay real quick. Moon jump. We'll save this and come back to it in just a minute. Because if I can get a service bay, that'll help me quite a bit. I think I'll need a bigger heat shield for it, though. So let's see. Where is the service bay? I thought it was over here. I thought maybe I'd already unlocked it. Because I swear I thought I saw it before, too. Yeah, service bay. We do have it. Well, why was it not? Well, whatever. We want the 45 research. That's all we need right now. So back to you. Alright. This is the tiny service bay. Okay, we don't want to do that far up. We technically want the heavier end to be facing down. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I have a very big feeling that this is going to flip itself while I'm flying, or while I'm trying to go back into the atmosphere. You know, we can actually check that real quick. Center of mass. Well, when we pack a few things in there, we'll see how it is again. Alright, what can we do for sciencing? Alright. Where are my directional buttons? So science here. Thermometer. Let's actually put a second. Let's actually put 2 goo things in there. So we want to keep you in a place where you can get clicked. My main concern is just preserving the balance here. So how many battery packs do we want? Probably 2. Yeah, that'll do. It's going to be a little hard to actually check the temperature like that. So thermometer, I'll put you in a minute. Thermometer's weight's negligible, so we only need 1. Or maybe this tiny bit of weight will be the difference between our ship flying and our ship failing. So service bay doors closed, that's good. Center of mass. Still not great. Alright, well we can do this another way. I guess this is the way we'll have to do it then. Means we're not going to need those heat shields on it. Alright. Well, let's put the Science Junior up here. Take these off. There we go. Because now when we have this, that will point the correct direction. Or it should. Or I'm about to really screw myself anyway. So here's the rest of the ship. Let's actually remember to first click that off. Let's limit the thrust. 45 seems fine. Alright. What are these stages? 1, 2, moon stage. Only 1 parachute. Well, we saw the other parachutes kind of lived through that. And technically we're coming back from the moon. So maybe we need more. These are really big. We'll put some drogue chutes down here. I don't know why those were popping up so big. They shouldn't be that big. We'll put the drogue chutes down here anyway. That will hopefully point us in the right direction. And all we need now is an antenna. And only 1. Alright, let's see if we can get to the moon without killing our only other pilot. That would be lovely. Okay, once again, I don't like that little drop that happens every single time. I could always replace these so that it goes and doesn't do that. Alright. We'll probably try and get that on the return, assuming we can do a return here. Or we could have our first rescue mission already. So where's the moon out here right now? Moon is on this side. It's not going to matter as much here. Let's just go ahead and see what this does, how this does when it launches. If we can make it to the moon, great. If we can't, we just can't. Alright. I really wish it was pointing straight up, though. So Valentina with the SAS. Let's see if we can get up into space. These 4 little solid boosters are having to work super hard. And this is where we start to get into the question of, when you're adding mass, how are you actually improving your flight? So we see we have some actual extra little buttons like going to prograde or going to retrograde. Alright, so solid fuel boosters doing a little better than I expected. But once again, that's part of adding some the thrust limiting to it, which once again is not something I did before. We've returned something from orbit. That's a lot of money. Yay, so boosters down. Oh look, they all just exploded into each other. That was fun. And let's go ahead and start our gravity turn. There we go. It would be better if I was doing these launches in the daylight, probably. I could have waited till morning. We'll keep pointed this way. That should be alright. Big thing is that we just want to be able to get out of the atmosphere with this. So let's see. Of course that little marker's in the way right now. So if we can just get out of the atmosphere, something, before we need to use the LV909, we'll be good. Otherwise, we're going to be pushing against a lot of forces, and I should have rethought my design. Let's hope we don't have to just sit here and go back to the drawing board, because right now we're carrying a lot more weight. Go, little engine that could. We have a very weak orbit right now, but an orbit just the same. This is where I miss things like Kerbal Engineer that'll really help us out in telling us how things are doing here. So let's go ahead and wait until we're completely out of the atmosphere before we do some more burning. I said let's wait until we're out of the atmosphere before we do some more burning. Alright. So 90,000 orbit. Almost. And let's go ahead and relaunch. Let's go ahead and get the materials-based science going. Space near Kerbin, that's a lot of space. Let's go ahead and observe the goo. Crew report. We can just keep that for now. Alright. Log temperature. And let's go ahead and transmit data. Require complete. Really? Okay, those are interesting new settings. So let's see, we're almost in orbit. Let's just fly on the prograde now, try and save a little bit of extra fuel here. So we may or may not have enough to get to the moon and back. And we don't actually have patched conics, so that's going to be some fun extra goodness here. So 50, 80, good enough. Good enough for me. Battery, electric charge, we only have a little bit here. So let's go ahead and just transmit this data. Alright, that's gonna dump some of our electric charge. That's all good. Alright, so we can just try and hold on to the rest. This is where I'd really like to have solar panels, but we don't. So we do not have patch conics. And we're trying to get to the moon. Some of you may know this trick, some of you may not know this trick. The idea is that you want the moon to be right around here where you burn from over this direction. Go up here. The other idea is just to wait until the moon is kind of on the horizon when you're burning. So that means we want to burn from right around this section. Now, I can't really click on this area to do that. But once upon a time, for those of you, some of you may not realize this, maneuver nodes were not always in the game. But we're going to have to watch our fuel very closely, because if I can't reach the moon or get near the moon, we may have some fun with Valentina here in just a minute. So let's see. Let's slow down a little bit. I mean, she's in orbit now, which is great. A little bit of chugging and slow down here. Let's focus on Kerban. So we want the moon to be on the horizon, which means going from right about here. Yeah, that should do it. So let's just get it right to around here. This is totally going to be guesswork, because we can't even target the moon right now. We just do not have the technology. Let's go ahead and see if we need to do a Valentina rescue mission or not. All I want to do is a flyby. This is not going to be some fancy pants free return or anything. But we're going to really put the Terrier to the test. So here's some 90. 54. Once again, if we get it, awesome. If we don't, we should have enough to correct ourselves, given a few return burns here. So there's our liquid fuel. This is going to give us a good gauge of just how much more we need to do. Plus, we can get some science from high up in the air. So let's see, 30, 29, 28. Oh, it's going to be really close. Like I said, I'm not looking for an orbit. 15, 14, 13, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh. We are so close. We are so very close. Alright. Does that put us in the moon's sphere of influence? Possibly. Alright. Let's see what happens. Worst case, we just get some science and Valentina gets to chill out here for a while. So crew reports. Maybe we do want to go ahead and transmit that crew report. And let's actually hit the right button here. So you know what, let's actually ditch this. We have space near Kerban. So here comes the moon. Let's see if our old standard is holding up. Okay, we are now outside of the sphere of influence for some reason, or not outside the sphere of influence. For some reason it's not letting me focus on the moon jump. Weird. Okay, I guess we'll just have to live with that. So here's the moon, here's Valentina. Crew report. Crew reporting from space. 7.5 science. What else do we got? Uploading data, science data from there, and then broken the speed record of 25,000 miles per, or kilometers per something. All right, so let's see. Did we actually get it? Are we actually going to reach the moon? Worse, is this going to project us in a way that's going to knock us out of the system? Which is entirely possible given that I did not give myself a lot of leeway with the fuel here. But the idea is that if we're further out here, we should be able to correct ourselves accordingly. So let's see. All I want to do is be close to the moon. Why can I not switch back? All right. Let's see if we get close. Hello, moon. Yep. We have entered the moon's sphere of influence, and I'm pretty sure this is... Hey, it could knock us to Minmus. If we get knocked out a little further, that could actually play into our favor, because we just need a little bit of correction here. So Let's see here. Crew report from high over the moon. Transfer that science. Okay, so we're running... Okay, so log the temperature here. We'll keep that one because that's worth more, and we don't have the power to ship off anything else. Mystery goo from here. 20 science. Good if we can keep it. Look, someone is seeing the moon for the first time. Okay, does that say we're going to crash into the moon? Because that would be really good aim if I am in fact about to crash into the moon. This is awkward. Valentina is so happy and yet so screwed. We actually shot for the moon and hit. Yeah. Valentina, you get to be the first Kerbal not on the moon. Not by your own choice. There's some speech by some famous historical figure that's probably relevant here. But yeah, you have no fuel, and we were just hoping for a little bit of a meetup. It's just that tiny extra burn that did it, but here we go. You know what, since we're here, we might as well take a nice view. I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Maybe live streaming just brings out the best in me because we are definitely... Let's see here. What are we doing? World first. Flyby. Escape gravitational influence. Gather first scientific data on the moon. Well, that's true, but Valentina... this always seems to happen the first time I take you out on a flight, except this time we're not in Kerbin. This time we are on the moon. And you are going pretty fast, and that crater is coming really close. And, well, I'm sorry. There we go. Well, I shot for the moon and I hit. So, look, you don't need patch conics to get to the moon. I guess that's the lesson there. Do we have any pilots left? Is my next question here. Let's F3 just for fun. Moon debris, or moon jump debris crashed into the moon. Valentina killed. Oh boy. Well, let's go to the Space Center. At least we didn't fail any contracts. Now the people that are in the orange suits will reappear. So that's good. How much does patch conics actually cost? Orbits visible on the map. That is surprisingly expensive. And we can afford it, but we need to kind of fly some other things here. So, mission control. Let's see. We failed in ferrying some tourists. We didn't actually grab missions for the moon, which is one thing that I'm a little curious about here. Let's go ahead and decline some of these. We have a docking mission available. I don't even know if I have docking ports yet. Let's see. Flee solid booster. Test heat shield in flight. That's a pretty high speed. Stack decoupler in flight. Orb survey. 2 tourists safely to their destination. Put two tourists in orbit. Or we could just do the docking mission, which expires in a day. Alright. Do we have docking ports? Ugh. We don't. So they expect us to dock without having that unlocked. Can I, you know, I feel like I should be able to search some of these things here. General construction, decoupler, this thing, crew cabin could be good for some of those bigger missions here. We actually don't have the science to unlock some of these things anyway. So docking ports, I feel like I should have those already. But no, there's the very first one, and it is on the next tier. So we're not going to be able to do that mission for a while. Mission control actually is not that expensive to upgrade. But let's see here. Where did we go wrong other than aiming? We currently... Oh, Jebediah's back. Nice to see you back in action. I don't know what happened to those other tourists of yours. Now, here's the thing, is that I can't really use that same design that I had previously just from well, how do I put this? It's a little too expensive, and I do agree with what you're saying, Cal. I should go the spaceplane hangar and try and send some tourists that way. My problem with planes, first off, is that I'm terrible at flying them. I'm terrible at building them. I can give it a shot just for y'all's amusement if you'd like to see it. But let's see here. We're just going to kind of freeform this now. Where can we improve this design from before? Let's take you guys off for a second. Because if we really want to get into space, I guess one thing we're going to need to do here is maybe add a little bit of extra stuff. I mean, we reached the moon, that's cool. We just didn't mission accomplish the moon. And those fins, for some reason, are having a weird time. Alright. Feels like I should use some space tape here, but I have not unlocked struts. So we'll just do it like this time. Now, what would probably be more efficient? I want to try it like this first. Just because, and this is the kind of stuff that I tend to do off camera or edit out if I'm just trying to experiment here. But since we're on stream, we can play with this just a little bit differently here. So here's one way to try and design this. Do we have any aerodynamic nose cones? Because those actually matter this go around. Alright, I'm going to take some big boosters. We'll limit their thrust to 40%. Hopefully that gets us further out into space. Hopefully these winglets are enough. And maybe this time, Jebediah, we can actually return some science. So we don't have solar panels. Ugh. Do we need a... We have 2 batteries. That's probably good enough. Yeah, let's try this. This will be fun. I guess maybe I'm flying off-center every time because my ship is not sitting on the center. I don't know. Okay, this is actually a little wacky, I think. Okay, we definitely need a parachute on there. Alright, I feel like these things are not exactly lined up correctly. Alright. This is why I always try and do justification. I always try to have toggle snap on for these things. Okay. Moon jump. 2. Last time was the moon arrow, and we shot the moon and we hit. This time is going to be... we probably need to reset. No, we're still good there. Let's put this one on the same stage. Well, we don't have fuel lines. Right? We don't have fuel lines. So there's no great reason to start burning this one. We'll do these little side packs first. This is really heavy, and this is where I've gotten, not complaints before, but interesting asides from people saying, I could get to the moon with a way smaller rocket. You're absolutely right. I could consolidate my design and get to the moon with a way smaller rocket too. In fact, if I put these instead of the tiny boosters, Valentina might still be alive, but we'll fly in her honor.